The top 10 best bosses in Elden Ring. Some of you are going to love this list. Some of you are going to hate this list. Most of you will probably be somewhere in between. Of course, this is my opinion. This is based on my own experience with the game. And I figured with the release of Night Rain, why not appreciate some boss design? And yes, Night Rain content is on the way. But without further ado, let's get to the list. Number 10, Radagon. Starting off with what basically is the final boss of the main story, Radagon really keeps you on your toes throughout the whole fight. Compared to the second phase with the Elden Beast, it's a lot more interactive and intense. The whole time, Radagon is zipping around the arena with the ever so flashy Marika's hammer. He's smacking you in the face, he's tossing holy javelins at you, he's teleporting behind you and bursting you down with Golden Order shenanigans. The gray arena you're in makes Radagon's moves look even flashier. Your focus has to be on him the entire time. Overall, definitely one of the smoothest boss movesets out there. When you enter the boss arena, no words are even exchanged. It's just on sight, and I love that. The whole time it feels like you are dancing with Radagon, trying not to miss a beat. The main issue I have with this fight is that it ends too soon. Of course, you defeat Radagon, then the Elden Beast, and that's the fight. To me, once you reach the Elden Beast phase, the best parts of the fight have already happened. You go from really fast-paced and interactive combat to chasing the almighty galaxy blob. At least the Elden Beast and its OST are beautiful though. Regardless, every time I go back and fight Radagon, I have a blast. Great design and moveset, super interactive, just a lot of fun. And also, Marika's hammer is one of the most satisfying weapons out there. I love just demolishing people with it in invasions. But yeah, Radagon is cool enough to me where he can squeak into the top 10. Number 9, Elmer of the Briar. Can we talk about how badass this guy is? He can fucking move his sword using red telekinetic powers, brother. Okay, I don't know why I'm doing this voice. Real talk, Elmer of the Briar is incredibly badass and, dare I say, underrated within the best bosses conversation. Sure, he's not bigger or badder than a lot of the other major bosses, and he's pretty tucked away in the Shaded Castle, but if you go out of your way to take on this fight, you will not regret it. First off, Elmer of the Briar's swag is nearly unmatched. The crude armor, the great shield, the ancient magical sword. One moment you're getting shield bashed, the next moment you're getting drilled by Yokade's dancing blade. I mean, he literally turns his sword into a drill. It's too sick. He may even charge up a grab and slam you into the ground like a medicine ball. The small arena, along with the way Elmer manipulates his attacks, creates a feeling of claustrophobia in a good way. Learning to deal with all the different attack combos is always engaging because he can do them from basically any range. And the best part is upon defeating him, you get to use the drill sword yourself, as well as the great shield, which is actually solid, and the armor, which is one of the biggest meme sets in the game. You know, because of the thorns on it and the rolling damage and the aim punch and all that goofy fun stuff. And this is a boss I personally didn't think about too often until recently. Look, I know he loves thorns, but we gotta give him his flowers at some point, right? Elmer of the Briar has a mesmerizing design and moveset. The Shaded Castle is quite mesmerizing itself, and for real, do not sleep on the Moraeus Executioner sword. That thing is absolutely nasty and so much fun to use. Number 8, Malenia. Everyone has their take on Malenia. I know plenty of people who love Malenia and the challenge she brings. I also know plenty of people who despise Malenia and the challenge she brings. Personally, I am somewhat of a reformed hater. After my first time beating her, all I thought was, well, thank God that's over. Dying to waterfowl dance over and over got very taxing after a while. Over time, I did more playthroughs, fought her again and again, and really started to appreciate her design. This is a situation where From Software turned things up to 11, but did it in the right way. The fight is insanely fast-paced, which should be expected. Malenia's moveset is meant to smother you at every opportunity, which makes dodging the attacks a satisfying, gripping experience. The whole time you're working through her flurry of attacks, you have to really ready yourself for the inevitable waterfowl dance, which is indeed a hard attack to dodge. as it should be. The first phase of the fight is awesome on its own, then you get to the very memorable second phase, and that's when things go from 11 to 12. You get to see her use Scarlet Aeonia, which is one of the most visually appealing attacks in the game. Her Phantom Spirit attack is also amazing looking. She becomes more aggressive and harder to read, her lifesteal gets insane. If you're below 80% HP against Malenia, you can die in the blink of an eye. Now, all of this challenge and difficulty is totally justified for two reasons. One, it's easy to stagger Malenia, so it's not like you have hardly any opportunities to attack. You get your chances, you just can't brainlessly play. Two, Malenia is an optional boss. She is meant to be one of, if not the hardest challenge you can face in this game. She is literally left in an optional late game area that you have to jump through some hoops to even get to. She doesn't allow you to sit back and hardly engage. She forces the issue the entire time without it feeling lame. I've grown to appreciate her a lot over the past couple years, and to me, she definitely deserves a spot in this top 10. Number 7, Rellana, aka the Twin Moon Knight, and the younger sister of Rennala. She's got two twin blades, one she can imbue with Mesmer Flame, the other with Glintstone Magic, and she's gonna try to combo the shit out of you. In the first phase, it's a lot of normal attack combos with the occasional Glintstone spell. It starts off relatively tame, but similar to Malenia, Rellana really keeps you on your toes the whole time. You are in an arena that's not too big or small, it's the perfect size. Pause. Similar to Knight Loretta's arena in Caria Manor, it really gives off the same vibe. Now, when you get to the second phase, this is when everything feels a lot tighter, a lot scarier, and a lot more intense. Rellana gains access to her Moon and Fire stance, which, as I mentioned earlier, imbues her swords with Glintstone and Mesmer Flame powers. She can create fire tornadoes all around her, or combo you from across the arena with Glintstone arcs. Not only that, she sort of has this pseudo third phase at 30% HP, where she uses her Twin Moon attack. She rises in the air, slams down two moons, and then herself to create a massive third shockwave. To dodge this, you have to get off your toes and jump all three attacks. From start to finish, this fight ramps up at a nice, steady pace. Rellana's visual design is amazing too. Her swords, especially when imbued, are beautiful. Armor set is really clean, and I found when I was getting back into PvE when DLC dropped, this was a great boss to knock off the rust. Now every time I go and fight with her, I'm always having a great time. Number 6, Baal. Curse you, Baal! Okay, sorry, I had to do it for the one time. Baal the Dread, Big Baal. What an absolute specimen this lad is. I am one to typically dislike dragon bosses, but I can't deny this fight is peak. Dragon fights do not get better than this. Listen, Placiduous Axe is great too, I still like that boss a lot, but Baal knocked that multi-headed monster down a peg. It's like you can feel the power of Baal through your screen. The intense roars, orange lightning, all the eruptions, fireballs raining down on you. Hell, he'll even crash land from the skies and absolutely nuke your shit. Such a diverse moveset for a dragon boss, and it's one that I found to be really fun to learn. Most dragon bosses, especially the field ones, are pretty bland. They either run away from you the whole time, jerk your camera around constantly, or have a bunch of annoying mobs that can get aggroed and join in. Baal is different though. The sworn enemy of the ancient dragons doesn't play soft. Don't even get me started on the second phase. Holy shit! More lightning, more fireballs, more eruptions, more explosions, more pressure. The soundtrack to this fight is easily one of my favorites. I tend to appreciate most boss OSTs, but this one really stands out to me. It makes the fight feel epic. This orange and gray monstrosity that's supposed to be out of his prime, but it doesn't even matter because he's gonna fucking tear your head off regardless. I cannot glaze this dragon enough. FromSoft, more stuff like this. This right here, this is the shit. Y'all killed it on this one. It's a legendary boss fight I will never forget. It almost feels disrespectful putting him at 6, but moving on. Number 5, Midra. Mid may be in the name, but this madman is far from it. This is one of the DLC bosses that I haven't really seen any negative opinions about. It seems like the majority of players really like Midra, and I fall within that majority. Of course, Midra is the Lord of Frenzied Flame, meaning you're going to be dealing with a lot of the Madness status effect. He is found in the DLC Legacy dungeon called Midra's Manse, which is located in the Abyssal Woods region. Definitely one of my favorite areas in the entire game. Whole lot of madness around these parts for sure. And what I find immediately amazing about this fight is how the interaction starts. Whenever you enter Midra's arena, you are met with this shriveled up version of him. An almost human version. Then, after doing enough damage to this human form, you are hit with one of the most gruesome cutscenes. I genuinely shiver every time I see it. I think it's the sound design here that really gets me. Don't get me wrong though, I absolutely love it. It's very metal. Then, you actually start fighting the real Midra, the Lord of Frenzied Flame Midra. He's so graceful and almost satisfying to watch, but still creates that feeling of dread. A being so destructive and mad, yet you can't seem to look away. To me, he really embodies what madness is in this game, and the effect it has on certain characters like Hyetta. Every attack from his sword is as smooth as silk. When he's not majestically slicing you to death, he's skewering you. If he's not skewering you, he's unleashing Frenzy Flame all around you. Everything about this boss just flows. You can also use Midra's sword, the Great Sword of Damnation, once you get his remembrance, and it gives you the ability to use the skewer attack that he does, which is called Golden Crux. Such a blast to use in PvP. It also gives you Midra's Flame of Frenzy, which is a wild-looking madness spell. Brutal, yet beautiful. Dangerous, yet oddly comforting. There's this duality to Midra and madness that is so perfect in this game. I don't really know what else to say. Midra's dope, great design, great arena, great OST, great legacy dungeon within a great region of the DLC. Just awesome all around. Number 4, Godfrey, aka Horaloo. Hell yeah. That's what I think of this boss. Hell yes. First Elden Lord, first Tarnished, exiled by Marika for helping her. Then he just comes back, sees you, and is immediately down to scrap. And scrap he does. The first phase is him with his massive axe just throwing out some mean, hefty combos. You get a taste of what's to come in the second phase with his shockwave and stomp attacks. It feels like you are fighting a truly battle-hardened individual. Not to mention, unlike a lot of these other bosses, he seems a lot more human, but more of a giga-human. Maybe it's the classic warrior vibe he gives off that's making me say that. And let me not ignore the fact he's like 12 feet tall and has the spirit of a lion on his back. Siraj is one of the goodest boys of Elden Ring, let's be real. Anyway, the second phase is when shit gets nutty, and frankly is what makes this fight so memorable. Of course, you have the cutscene, Siraj's spirit is sacrificed, Godfrey's armor comes off, and in that moment, he is no longer Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. Instead, he is now Horaloo. Warrior! Okay, I'm done. From here, welcome to WWE SmackDown, Tarnished Edition. This dude says, screw the axe, it's time to throw hands. It's time for bare-handed badassery. It's time for some fucking pile drivers, son. Seriously, this is one of the coolest movesets of any phase of any boss I have ever faced. All the stomps, punches, grabs, and slams. Horaloo is a demon. I also love the fact that us players can use Horaloo's Earthshaker, as well as his axe after defeating him. Both are a ton of fun to use, whether it's invasions, duels, or PvE. And this happens right before the Radagon and Elden Beast fight. 3 heavy hitters back to back to back makes for a wild finale to the main story. Number 3. Star Scourge Radahn, the biggest Chad of Elden Ring right here. I don't really care for promised consort Radahn from the DLC. To me, it's a decently fun fight, but it doesn't really do anything for me. Base Radahn, on the other hand, what is not to love about this fight? First off, you get into the arena, and he immediately starts firing gravity magic imbued javelins out of his massive great bow, and you are also given a choice. Do you go around and spawn in the friendly NPCs you've met on your journey to help tackle this Goliath, or do you face him yourself? Again, it's totally your choice, and personally, I've had a lot of fun doing both. Once you make that decision and get close to him, that is where the fight really begins. Radahn pulls out his dual colossal swords, and from there it's multi-hit combos, it's gravity pulls, it's gravity pushes, it's gravity waves, it's snatching you with collapsing stars. Radahn does not fuck around. He shows you that regardless of being driven insane by Scarlet Rot, he can still hold back the stars and whoop your bitch ass simultaneously. Then the phase 2 transition is kind of hilarious when you really think about it. One moment you're fighting Radahn, the next moment he jumps into the stratosphere and dive bombs you. My boy hits you with the intergalactic Swanton bomb. After face planting into the red desert beneath you, Radahn will also spawn meteors and hurl them at you, as well as float and do an attack called Spiraling Death. It's basically Radahn's own version of the spinning gravity thrust Ash of War, and it will mess you up. It will kill you. Very fast. And the real MVP of this fight is Radahn's horse, Leonard. Shout out to Leonard for carrying one of the greats on his back like that. It's no easy task. From the lore to the moveset, the phase transition, his armor and weapons, Radahn is him. Absolutely love this boss. Number 2, Malekith. It's hard for me to choose whether Malekith or the next boss on this list is my true favorite. Regardless, Malekith is unfuckwithable. The shadow-bound beast of Queen Marika, he was assigned to simply guard the Rune of Death. But after the Night of the Black Knives, he instead had to fuse with the rune itself. The power of death is held within Malekith. Before he is revealed as Malekith, though, the players know him as Geraint, the Beast Clergyman. The mysterious beast you most likely gave some death root to in exchange for some spells. Upon entering his arena in Farum Azula, you still see him as the Beast Clergyman within the first phase. In fact, if you give him all the death roots, he will acknowledge you right before the fight starts, beginning to ask you why you're doing what you're doing, but cutting himself off with the thought of his sworn duty: to protect the Rune of Death at all costs. His moveset is pretty basic for the first part of the fight. He uses bestial incantations you are probably familiar with, as well as combos from his Chankwadia dagger. Of course, the second phase is when you get introduced to the Beast Clergyman's real identity, Malekith the Black Blade. These two phases are very different. He goes from hurling stones and repeatedly swiping at you with a small dagger to leaping all over the arena and decimating you with a death flame imbued colossal sword. He also reveals his incredibly slick armor set. It's all black with gold trim. It looks spectacular. I tend to love edgy characters in general, and Malekith checks that box. You can almost feel the desperation he fights with. There's no playing fair. He's going to fuck you up, probably multiple times. There are very few attacks in this game that look nearly as good as Malekith's. The Colosseum Arena in Farum Azula is easily one of my favorites too. Genuinely, there is not a single thing I dislike about this boss. And after you beat him, you can use the Black Blade spell or the Black Blade Colossal Sword, both of which are top tier. Number 1, Messmer. If Malekith is my favorite base game boss, then Messmer is 100% my favorite DLC boss. I mean, before I had even played a single second of the DLC, I spent a few $100s just to get a small statue of him with my DLC purchase. From the trailers alone, I knew he was going to end up being one of my favorites, and he did not disappoint at all. I really could go on and on and on as to why I like Messmer so much, but I'll keep it simple. Messmer checks every single box for me. He's menacing. He has that soft but chilling voice. His pale, frail figure doesn't make him look weak, but rather haunting and snake-like, which of course ties into his whole aesthetic. The vibrant red snakes, the twisting massive great spear, the scorching dark flames, the accurate lethal moveset. He's almost Orochimaru-esque. I feel like he has that same effect. He gives off that same vibe. The ominous arena, the soundtrack, everything just hits. I can't even call the first phase tame because it's really not. Mesmer is just assaulting you the entire time. Then the second phase starts with a cutscene of him removing one of his eyes and breaking it, transforming into his base serpent form, and from there, things are even more Orochimaru-esque. Snakes flying out from corners of the arena and biting you, Mesmer transforming into a serpent himself, and crashing down on top of you with an explosive orb in his mouth. This fight is batshit insane, and I love everything about it. Again, I knew immediately from the trailers that I was going to love Mesmer, and at the end of it all, you were able to get his spear, which is one of the strongest weapons in the game. You get access to Mesmer's orb, which is an obnoxiously fun and powerful incantation, and of course his armor too, which I really like. A blasphemous, corrupted, exiled son of Marika who is both the flame and the darkness. Mesmer is perfection when it comes to Elden Ring bosses. I will never not love every single thing about this boss, period. Holy shit, man, this game's amazing. And with that, we have reached the end of my personal top 10 best bosses list. Feel free to let me know what you think of this list down below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like. And of course, if you want to see my Night Rain content that will be coming soon, make sure to hit that subscribe and that noti bell. Have a great day, stay safe, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.